I was a very withdrawn child. Grew up with not a lot of care, and I found my solace in nature. So at any given point, I would disappear into shrubs of bushes or fields of flowers or woodlands and found a peace there. That's where I found myself in a way. I had extreme anxiety. I didn't know it was anxiety because I didn't have names for things, but so much so that I didn't speak. You know, they named me self-mute. I was petrified of everything. I can remember very clearly as if I was afraid to take a breath. The peace that I found in nature, I didn't have to worry about any of that. I didn't have to please anybody. I didn't have to feel adequate. I just was able to be myself. I realized that I was drawn to things that brought the same connection that I found as a child when I was out in the wilds or the gardens of nature, where I felt a peace and a safety. When I first sat in a council circle, it was in New Mexico, because my life had gotten me to a crisis point. I was nervous, I was scared even. I always perceived people as being so much more intelligent and worthy than myself, or I did at that time. In council, you don't have to have any answers, you don't have to fix anything, and by the time we'd finished, I felt settled and peaceful inside. So from what was a voiceless person, it brought me home to a voice in many ways. What counsel is a few people. It could be two people, but it could be a circle of people, always sitting in a circle. You need a talking piece, and the talking piece, it's a beacon for attention and intention. It means you have a moment to stop, to see what arises. It's about sharing stories. It's not about sharing opinions or statements or philosophies or judgments. And that as a way of bringing people out of their minds and into a feeling sense of their bodies. So we call that speaking from the heart. While someone's speaking, we're learning about listening, leaving opinions and ideas and judgments and how to fix somebody or what would be good for them out of the circle, and what's beneath the surface of the everyday chit-chat and the everyday fast mind starts to come alive. And the truth is, empathy is born out of that kind of listening. Very rarely have we ever really been heard. Even with parents who love us dearly and did the best they could, having the space to speak simplistically, succinctly, and not have to justify yourself, it's just rare. It's a personal practice. It's not just about a circle, it's about listening that way in my life. How can I listen in the spirit of counsel when I'm in the supermarket, when there's a queue that's really long and I'm getting really pissed off? How can I stop and listen more deeply? One of the things I do is I offer these weekend introductions to counsel and learning what it means to sit in a circle and share and speak in this deep, caring way. I also run counsel in nature retreats, which is my favourite really, because for me nature is the most important part of this work. Originally it was all First Nations from any part of the world listening and following a path of nature, and counsel grew out of that. Counsel has a rhythm. It's like the flow of the way the birds know how to migrate. What counsel does is it creates community, and it creates intimate community with the people in the workshops and ceremonies. We do all the basics of learning the practice, and then people move out for a half day or a day or overnight. They may go and find a river. We have these beautiful creeks, pure water. Jump in and see what story comes out of that. With the intimacy of a group, staying together so long, cooking together, people see each other in a broader sense. At the end of the day, there's a lot of love. The whole thing becomes a living counsel. Like myself, some people are very nervous. One of the ways we learn through it is by listening to others. Everybody else's story is inside mine, and somebody else's vulnerabilities and pain or discomfort or loss or confusion. There's diverse feelings and thoughts and memories inside our own being, and the good and the bad, or the dark and the light, come close. Something cracks open, and that's where people get touched and experience a deep love. Very much like I found in nature when I was a child. I threw a pin in a map and it landed right here in North Wales. Welsh is the first language here, and it's connected to the land. So many Welsh names are the names of houses and types of hillsides. The myth that lives in the land here is still very alive. It's famous for these old oak trees, and the oak trees here, they look like witches' hands because they're so weathered that they're thin, and you get the dappled sun coming through them, and you get these lovely lean branches moving out away from the wind. We've got the ocean, we've got granite rock. It's some of the most ancient rock in the world here. There are many very ancient stone circles and old tracks, again relating to the myth and the story of the land. This work is for anyone who is called to it. They have to want to be there, and a lot of people come to my things because they have a challenge or a sadness, a loss. Hence they're looking to a deeper part of themselves. I see people often go away inspired to take this kind of listening and speaking into their own lives and into their own work. I sometimes think the only way our world will heal is if we drop into this more open, spacious, receiving consciousness where we care for each other. If we could sit and listen, something magical could take place that could make a difference. We're losing touch with ourselves, with our bodies, with our emotions, with our feelings, and spirit, that sense of spirit. What makes me happy is my dog, being with animals, living on the side of a mountain and watching the buzzards, and a very simple life, a very simple life. If you'd ever said to me when I was a younger person, you're going to be sitting in front of a group of people or giving a talk and speaking out, I would have said never in a million years, because I have that inadequacy about my voice and about expressing myself. But it's not got the same weight. I've got a very different awareness. I feel that I'm doing exactly what I was born to do, and I love it. And I love seeing people shine and come into themselves.